Good afternoon, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen. This is Refined Rose back with another video. How many of us are living in neighborhoods or communities where the neighbors are loud? They drive home to the residence and the radio is loud. They have arguments outside with their family, friends, and kids, and it's loud. No respect for other people who's listening or who wants peace and quiet. Or you just need a break from the daily stressors and you come home and you still can't get a break because your neighbors are loud. What if you stay in a townhouse or an apartment and you can hear your neighbors on the other side of that wall and they're not using their indoor voice. They're using a foreign voice, talking loud, like they're calling in the horses or the cows. And this is just the way they talk. They don't mean any harm. They're just loud. Or let's say, what if you're in a apartment unit and let's say you're on the second floor, third floor, fourth floor, or even just the first floor for that matter. And you know exactly when your neighbors come and go. And how you know this is because when they come home, they may slam the door hard and shake the whole building, like the walls just rattle. It's just like a vibration. And they're not doing it on purpose. That's just how they close their door. And then they walk. And it doesn't sound like regular walking. It sounds more like stumping. Or more like they have on some high heels, platform shoes, stilettos. And you can hear each step. Or what if they have this crying baby? And they're used to all the crying. But you may have to get up and go to work in the morning. And this baby cried all through the night. You didn't get any peace whatsoever really through the night due to this crying. And in the morning, you're dragging. It's like you got toothpicks under your eyelids because you heard this baby all night long. Or what if there is no consideration and they're having sexual pleasure? I say smexual. You know what I'm talking about. And you have to hear that and wait till they finish and try to go back to bed again so you can get ready for work in the morning. But these people are not doing that to irritate us, to annoy us, to harass us. That's just the way they live. And they're not having any consideration for anybody else. So, let's say somebody had a bad day and they want to just come home and relax and chill out. And they're on the urge of snapping. They had a bad day with their boss, a bad day with their spouse, a bad day with their significant other. And today, they just want peace and quiet. And they just can't take anything. One more thing is just going to cause them to snap. Well, they go home. This neighbor is not using their indoor voice. They're using a foreign voice. And this baby is crying during the day as well. So you hear people around you using their foreign voice, like they're calling home the cows. You hear this baby that's crying. They're used to the baby crying, and the baby just cry most of the day and cry most of the night. And then you hear this stumping on top of you. And with each sound, it's like cringeworthy to your mind, to your brain, to your soul, to your spirit. And you snap because you can't take it anymore. Or that neighbor is driving home with loud music next door to you. And you can't take this bass that's rattling in your head, that's shaking your house. So you get up and you go to that house, or you go to that apartment unit that's above you and you knock on the door. And let's say that person has had a bad day too, and they're on the verge of snapping. So both of y'all are on the urge of snapping, and y'all don't know this. So you knock on that door, and you say, "You got one more time to be loud, using that foreign voice, calling home the animals, or we gonna have problems." Or you got one more time, you stop that neighbor going into their house with that loud music. You got one more time to drive through here with the bass up like we're in some type of disco club or bass club, and you rattling people's houses and shaking the windows and the walls. You got one more time. Or you got one more time to slam that door and make the whole apartment unit vibrate. So they snap on you, and you snap on them, all in a fit of rage because you're both angry. Both of you has had a bad day. You snap. You put hands on one another. Only if you just had a setback and just count to 12. I read I listened to a YouTuber's content. They said, if you're thinking about doing something, count to 12. Put yourself in timeout for 12 seconds and see if you still want to go do what you're thinking about doing. So after you put yourself in timeout, let me move, y'all. After you put yourself in timeout for 12 seconds, and if you still want to go do that,